Welcome back at VCC Cricket Ground in the Netherlands in Voorburg, close to The Hague. Second semi-final of the T20 competition. VRA won the first one and is going to watch who will be their opponent in the final later on this afternoon. We are having hometown club VCC batting after they have won the toss. And the opponent is Sparta from Rotterdam. Opening batsman for VCC receiving Bas de Lede. Bowling for Sparta is Asif Iqbal. This is the first ball of their innings. And I'm being joined by Dutch international cricketer. And we're going to continue in Dutch and we'll be back in English after that. Tobias Vizé, whose hand is in, well, je hand is niet in het gips, Tobias, maar hoe zou je het omschrijven?
Mijn hand is op dit moment in een spalk. Dat is gebeurd na een klein ongelukje. Waarvan ik een herstel nodig heb van 2 tot 3 maanden. Dus vanuit daar kunnen we weer verder gaan trainen eigenlijk.
Een dom ongelukje, mag ik het zo noemen?
Een heel dom ongelukje inderdaad. Als je in de tuin bij je oma aan het helpen bent en dan er vliegt een stuk van het mesje in je vinger. Dus het was heel ongelukkig. Pure pech.
In wat een geweldig cricketseizoen sowieso had moeten zijn. En ik denk dat jij stiekem ergens heel erg blij bent dat die WK 2020 niet doorging toen dit eenmaal gebeurd was.
Nou ja, dat is zeker waar. We wisten natuurlijk al een tijdje, het zat eraan te komen dat het niet door zou gaan. Maar daarentegen moet je ook altijd nog maar geselecteerd worden. Dus dat is de vraag of ik mee mocht überhaupt. Maar
ik had geen twijfel.
Nou ja, die twijfel ook wel altijd bij mezelf, want je moet wel blijven presteren. En aangezien ik niet een heel goed seizoen heb gehad voor mezelf, vind ik, is het dan nog maar de vraag of ze je erbij willen hebben.
Het is misschien een beetje pijnlijk op dit moment. Dat ga je zelf ook niet zeggen. Je werd ongelooflijk gemist bij HBS. Op zondagen al, nadat je die blessure opliep. Maar vandaag zeker, want het zal jullie zwaar gevallen zijn, deze halve finale nederlaag tegen VRA.
Nou ja, dat is het zeker. Vooral als je eigenlijk, ik mag het wel zeggen, als je zo keihard onderuit gaat in een halve finale. Maar ja, wat je net zegt, denk ik, als we naar de afgelopen wedstrijden kijken, natuurlijk hebben ze me gemist. Maar ik denk hoe ze het hebben opgepakt, hoe Julien en mij heeft staan betten, hoe we het als een groep hebben opgepakt. We hebben toch wedstrijdjes gewonnen. En dat vind ik onwijs knap hoe ze dat hebben opgepakt. Elke keer stapte iemand anders op. Dus vandaar dat we 2 keer terecht hebben gewonnen.
Heb je, dat is moeilijk hoor, dat weet ik, maar ergens ook nog wel kunnen genieten van hoe VRA het deed zonder hele grote schoten, zonder enorme boundaries, maar wel als een soort echte team effort die 133 op het bord gekregen?
Nou, dat was hartstikke mooi om te zien. Dus ik denk dat ze een goede start hadden. Volgens mij stonden ze 40 voor 2 na 6 denk ik, dus ze hadden op zich een goede powerplay, vooral bij een wicket als dit. Het is onwijs moeilijk betten, het wicket is onwijs traag. Dus je hebt een soort tennisball bounce, denk ik. Waarop het heel moeilijk is om te scoren. Ik denk als je kijkt naar de laatste 8 overs, hoe zij hebben staan betten als een echt team. Er is geen boundary meer geweest, maar toch gingen ze steeds 6, 7 per over. En dat is onwijs knap.
Ja, was het bij jullie na afloop, bij HBS na afloop, was de teleurstelling groot?
Natuurlijk is de teleurstelling onwijs groot. Je weet dat je altijd 1 wedstrijd in het seizoen, dat je ergens heel weinig runs gaat maken. Die wedstrijd zit er altijd tussen. En dan is het jammer dat het in een halve finale gebeurt.
Even over jezelf nog. Ideaal gesproken, zei je, duurt dit 2 tot 3 maanden. Hoe ziet dan de rest eruit? Heb je daar al een idee van?
In principe, de artsen die zijn hartstikke positief over mijn vinger. Dus zij gaan ervan uit dat het gewoon volledig herstelt. En daarentegen kan ik wel fit blijven, dus zoals mijn conditie op peil houden. En misschien kan ik langzamerhand wat cricketoefeningetjes gaan doen om toch wel in shape te blijven.
Is er iets van een programma voor jullie?
Op dit moment niet. We zijn eigenlijk 2 maanden hebben een soort van vrij gekregen. Je moet wel gewoon fit blijven voor jezelf. Maar daarna gaan we het cricket weer oppakken. We hebben zoveel cricket in een korte tijd gespeeld. Dat de coach ons toch een kleine break heeft gegeven. Omdat er voorlopig geen cricket aankomt. En vanaf november dat we ons weer volledig kunnen gaan focussen op het cricket wat komen gaat.
Ja, het was een heel raar seizoen hè, voor iedereen. Is het je desondanks toch nog meegevallen wat jullie allemaal hebben kunnen doen?
Nou, het was zeker een gek seizoen. Ik denk dat voorafgaand, voordat de competitie begon, dat toch sommige clubs met een dubbel gevoel zaten. Willen we nou 2020 spelen, willen we 50 over spelen? Wat is goed voor het Nederlands cricket? Ik denk dat heel veel mensen, die waren het erover eens dat het 50 over wedstrijden moesten worden. Of 50 over wedstrijden moesten worden. Maar dat heel veel clubs ook dachten van ja, mensen hebben niet kunnen werken. Dus waar gaan de mensen voor kiezen? En ik denk als je naar een VOC hebt gekeken naar zo'n club. Ja, die hebben het gewoon heel zwaar gehad. Die hebben zelfs een tweede elftal uit de competitie moeten halen. Omdat ze niet genoeg man hadden. Omdat mensen toch voor hun werk hebben gekozen. Maar ik denk, als we terugkijken op dit gekke seizoen. Dat er uiteindelijk toch hartstikke goed gecricket is. En dat het goed is geweest voor onze eigen jongens. Ook als we kijken naar HBS zelf. Iedereen heeft een kans gekregen. En die jongens die weinig de kans kregen, die hebben zich wel laten zien wat ze nu wel kunnen. Waardoor je cricketselectie binnen HBS wat groter wordt.
Jij hebt vorig jaar het genoegen gehad om in Canada te mogen spelen in de T20-competitie die ze daar hadden. Waren er alweer contacten? Het gaat allemaal niet door en het ziet er allemaal anders uit. Maar had je alweer andere aanbiedingen of zo? Of ideeën? Terwijl we hier een LBW-appeal zien op het bowlen van Mudassar Bokhari. But the LBW-appeal is turned down. Speelde er alweer wat?
Nou, ik heb altijd contact gehouden met de mensen uit Canada. Ik heb een agent die wat dingen voor mij probeert te regelen. En ja, vorig jaar zeiden ze, joh, volgend jaar ben je van harte welkom. Alleen is het dan altijd nog afwachten of je door de selectie heen komt natuurlijk.
Het is wel echt jouw spel, hè, T20?
Ik vind het leukste wat er is en ik denk dat het spelletje het beste bij me past.
Mooi. We wensen je heel veel succes met het herstel van je hand. Leuk dat je even hier was. Misschien heb je nog wat herstelwerk bij je teamgenoten te doen. Volgens mij komen jullie hier wel doorheen, toch?
Wij komen hier zeker doorheen. We zijn een sterke groep en we zijn allemaal een soort vrienden van elkaar. Dus dat gaat helemaal goed komen. We gaan dadelijk lekker een biertje met z'n allen drinken en naar de cricketwedstrijd kijken. Dus we gaan nog even genieten van deze dag. En, dankjewel.
Jij ook bedankt. Tobias Vizé, one of the very talented and exciting players to watch for the Dutch team, recovering from a serious hand or finger injury. We're already in the third over of the VCC innings with Bas de Lede, who earlier was behind the microphone here today, on 6 now, and Razaki on 4. Iqbal bowling in his second over. And being treated respectfully by the Lede. Two sides. Of course, everybody deserved their place in the semi-final because they played for it, but really put up some good performances. Sparta was commanding in their Rotterdam group, although VCC also had a strong group in The Hague, a very young side. Sparta has some experience, but also some local youngsters and local players, and an exciting batsman in Lennart van Wijk, who had huge scores, is only 12 runs away from 500 runs this competition. And right next to me right now, HBS captain Julian de Meij. Welcome, thanks for joining us. It must still be a bitter pill to swallow.
Yes, thank you for calling me out as captain as well. Unfortunately, I'm still not the captain. I probably will never be captain. But yeah, very bitter pill to swallow. I think, especially the fourth season running, coming to the finals day, people expect you to be better, and it's a bit unfortunate that you can't show all the people watching online and at the ground what we're capable of. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing.
And this looks to be a dropped one, just short of the keeper. Of course, your expectations were higher and different from what it turned out to be. And there must be reasons also. Do you have a general reason why you collapsed so heavily?
Well, may sound a bit funny, but I reckon we just didn't hit the wide thing we should hit. People just kept playing and missing their balls. I think the wicket has quite a lot in it for the bowlers as well, which doesn't make it easy, but at this standard you should be able to at least survive and give a better performance. I think 130 odd is a par score on this wicket, but yeah, the way we betted it looked like an absolute minefield, which it wasn't. So it's just poor betting, I'll put it on.
And before we only fall into negativity, you had a tremendous spell of bowling, which really put you into. This looks close as well, this LBW appeal. Outside leg stump, Bukhari is a bit in discussion. But again, turned down. You had a very good spell of bowling. Well, you adjusted, I think, as Tim de Leeuw, who was sitting next to us during your semi-final, said as well. You adjusted very good to the wicket. Was that in the plan as well?
I think I bowled my first over in the power play still, and usually, especially to a left-handed batsman, I try honestly to get as hit for as less runs as possible. But after a couple of balls, I always try to try a ball that I actually try to spin, even though it was a left-handed batsman turning into him. And I saw it was quite, well, we already knew, but it was quite slow and sticky. But I was quite surprised of the amount of, that's also pitching outside leg stump. I was quite surprised how much the ball gripped, and which allowed me to go a little bit slower and actually try to spin the ball, which worked out today.
Yeah, was it your plan of the team, probably, of the captain, to have your 4 overs immediately, or was that really because of the way you bowled that you took them all 4 in a row?
I think I bowled my 4 in a row because there were a couple big wickets we needed to get, which were Vikram, Ben and Pete Boren. And at that stage they were still all in apart from Ben. And yeah, we wanted to get the big wickets early, and then we thought we could do that at best with our spinners today, me or Adil. And I bowled nicely, so me and Ferdy decided to keep my spell going, and it worked out. Unfortunately, the second inning was a bit less good, but in our first innings it worked out.
And it looked like from here, from the boundary, like a very solid, not too spectacular, but a solid batting performance by VRA afterwards. They were not really looking for big shots, but just finding 1s and 2s.
Yeah, definitely. There was we had a big discussion with the team as well. Our boundary riders were on the rope quite often, and they hit the inner circle quite nicely, which caused them to run 2 a lot. We decided to come up a bit to block the 2, and then obviously once or twice when the ball gets hit over for a boundary, it's quite demoralizing. So we were chasing ladder for a little bit. But I think, yeah, their batting performance in the middle overs was brilliant. I think Shiraz Rasool did very well, as did, I think it was Leon for a bit. They had a nice little partnership going. I think they showed the example for Sparta and VCC what to do on this type of wicket. Is not necessarily hit boundaries, run your 1s and 2s hard and get to 130.
Is this the season, the cricket year, that you're growing, and your growth has been most in the batting, because of probably also all the matches you played, which were quite a few. I've seen you a lot of times this summer.
Look, I actually don't know. I've been working hard on my batting, and it's came off last couple of weeks, which is a lot of fun. I think batting is the most fun thing to do in cricket, let's be honest. And if it works, yeah, you should enjoy your form. But yeah, as I said, I don't really know. I just work hard at my batting, at all my cricket, and it's fun that it's showing results for once as well.
Yeah, well, probably also you wouldn't have imagined, I think, at the beginning of the season that you might walk out as a number 3 batsman in a semi-final of a T20 competition.
No, not at all. Especially I can hit a boundary to save my life. So as the ball goes up and the first wicket falls.
That's indeed, as Subir says, the third one who goes like this. Because in your bowling innings, you had 2 wickets like this as well. In the HBS bowling innings.
Yeah, I reckon it's not really a wicket to sweep on, because it's that sticky and slow. It's quite a high risk shot. Also, something we said during our betting meeting, which didn't work, but we said to our boys, try to hit as straight as possible. It's going to be tough facing slower bowling and spin bowling. I think the aim is just to keep betting with a straight bet today, as the other wicket falls.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, and probably you don't like it, but you asked me, have you seen the review of my run-out decision? But we don't have replays, but, well, I imagined as well, a little doubt. But then probably the other question was it a run anyhow, the way you went out?
Let's first say that I already spoke to the umpires as well. Apologize for my a bit of a rant, apologize for my behavior. They're doing their job brilliantly today. However, yeah, it was a close run. Me and Reese usually like to take our risky singles, and unfortunately this time it didn't work out. Yeah, it was a touch and go decision, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. I think at this level, if you have a little bit of balls, you could run those singles. If it's the next step up going into regional cricket or international cricket, it's not an option, as you say. But yeah, try to push opponent is a thing I like to do. But this time it didn't work out.
Let's see the upside of it. That is a big disappointment within HBS as Julian de Meij goes out as a batsman run out early in the innings, which wasn't probably the case always in the past.
No, that's very true. Yes.
Well, where do you go from here on? What if you could set any targets? What would you like for HBS or probably within the national squad or whatever?
Well, I think with HBS, but all of Dutch cricket, it's going to be a massive summer next year. Hopefully, let's assume that all the Corona stuff is over. It's going to be a massive summer for Dutch cricket. With HBS, we're obviously going to the ECL in La Manga if that's on. It's going to be probably one of the best weeks for the club in their history, playing all the best teams from all around Europe. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good cricket. Place to show yourself, show who we are as a club as well. So I think that's going to be brilliant. And for myself, I don't know, I'll just try to keep working hard, stay honest to myself, and see where we can get. Hopefully we start in Jan again to play some or train at least at a good standard, and hopefully we can go abroad and work on our games with the national side. I don't know what the future brings.
Let's turn a bit to this semi-final. You have experienced the wicket. You know both teams very well. Is there a favourite? Was there anyhow a favourite in the 4 before today?
I think every team had something to say for them. HBS being for the fourth time we are at finals day. I reckon Sparta is a team with a couple players in form. Looking at Bukhari, Leonard van Wijk. Looking at VRA, you got experience in Ben Cooper and Pete Boren. You obviously got the best young batsman in the country, Vikram Singh, as well. So they have a solid 11, as does VCC with Bas, Arjen Dutt, who's been brilliant this year. So I reckon every team has something for them, and they're all also a bit different in every way. So it's a good, I reckon, one of the better final days there have been in a while, as Dutt plays as straight for a single. So
you're picking up commentary as well.
Yeah, it's what we do. I don't know.
Exactly. Who of these two will be capable of beating VRA, or both of them are?
Both of them are. Yeah, definitely. So cricket is a funny game, as you saw in our match, getting rolled for not many after having a half decent first innings. I reckon both teams can win it, and VRA can win it all. It's always a third of a chance winning today. I can't say it at this stage.
Can you predict a par score for this one?
I reckon it's the same as in our game. If you
You think 130 around?
yeah, anything above 120 is a defendable score. Everything above 135 is going to be a good score.
Thank you very much, Julian de Meij. Enjoy today. I hope that's possible in a couple of hours, probably.
Yeah, let's have a beer.
Yeah, that might be the main solution for this. Thank you very much, Julian. All the best. Julian de Meij, not the captain as I introduced him. That's Ferdy Fink for HBS. But a guy who had a very good season. Already known as a spin bowler, but very well with the bat as well. 5 overs gone. 21 for 1. And it looks like going to be the same sort of innings as VRA had to play. 6 overs has been gone. 21 for 1. And it's gonna be hard to go for real big shots on this wicket. As you have heard now from a couple of players who have been in the middle or know the wicket, like Tim de Lede, our first guest this morning, does. It needs batting brains to get your runs here. Julian de Meij also said, and he is the batsman going to receive one of the talents who has shown himself this summer in a huge number of games which has been played between the under 18s, 19s and under 23s, and of course also in the 50 over league. Is a boy who has grown up here, Arjen Dutt, in Voorburg. Had a season in Utrecht, in Kampong last year, but came back and is now a very well respected member of the VCC squad. And the lessons probably picked up from the VRA innings, where they were really showed some sensible batting. And this is a boundary, good shot. Bas de Lede has shown himself the last years, being noticed by the MCC young cricketers where he was last year, but due to all the corona stayed home and played for his club VCC, which probably was for VCC a bit of unexpected bonus when they were planning for this season, like everybody was. Nobody counted really on Bas having so many matches for his club. A misfield there, and it's costing 4 runs. Bit of sloppy fielding. So another good over voor VCC. Iqbal has run through his overs. 1 for 21. finals day also been played here last year. And because of that experience, the KNCB decided to visit Voorburg again for this. There were other clubs who volunteered, but in the end, with all the adjustments due to the corona restrictions, it was a safe choice to come back to Voorburg. 8th over, with Snoop bowling a white. And VCC will be very much aware that they will have to put up a big score to get a bit of pressure on Sparta. $34 for 1 in the 8th over. And next to us, in between, on one of the two commentary spots, VRA President, Chairperson, Doreen Rauwerda. Very warm welcome. Congrats on the team's performance, on a real team's performance.
Wow, yeah, I was really proud. When I left home, because I must admit I didn't see the first innings, I was a bit worried. I didn't see the pitch, obviously, so I thought, well, 133 is not that much. But when I arrived here, it looked all to go in our way, so that was really good. Yeah, I'm very proud of the team.
Well, exactly, because it's good you pronounce it like a very fat team, because it looked like a real team performance. With, well, to be honest, without Cooper and Warren scoring big, all the young guys picked up really well. No big shots, no big scores, but very sensible batting.
Yeah. Which is necessary at this pitch, because it's really a low-scoring, slow pitch. So you need to keep your head together.
We have been discussing a lot about the season we nearly had, because this is finals day. But how hard was it for you? Well, and probably you have looked in the kitchens of other clubs as well. How hard was it for clubs to get a season going anyhow in these circumstances?
Well, I think for the club as an amateur club, it was really difficult to get everybody involved when it all started again. When the season really started, a lot of people were reluctant or at least hesitant to start again. But we did manage to get all our teams playing. 5 senior teams, the ladies, the youth, 2 Zami teams. Everybody was playing. So that was really good. But of course, like all other clubs, we suffered financially a lot, especially when you think that we were supposed to host Pakistan this season, which was on our budget. We put that on our budgets.
Because it was supposed to be at your ground as well.
Yeah, it was supposed to be at our ground. So, that was a big disappointment, both from a sporting a sporting perspective, but also from a financial perspective. Yeah.
We all suffered in Holland. Well, all sports suffered in Holland, but for being a small sport like cricket it was really tough. But I think we can conclude, although the season is not finished yet, it worked out very well. I mean, with great effort from everybody, but we have played a lot of matches.
Yeah, we did. Also, before we were allowed to play against other clubs, we did a lot of matches amongst our own members, mixing all the teams, and the youth was practicing from the start, and it was really good to see everybody putting in the effort. Yeah.
And there are some big changes coming to the view at VRA because of the indoor facilities which are being built, which, well, I've been there for many years, and still, if you enter now at the ground, there's a all new perspective at least to watch it. Is it going well?
Well, that project also suffered a bit from Corona, obviously, because there was a delay because the builders didn't want to come in the beginning of the Corona measures. But we are looking to open the hall end of October, start of November. So we can have basically a full winter season there, winter practice, which is also necessary for our income, of course, as a club. But also we will be very happy to have our youth, but also our senior teams practicing at our ground instead of all over the city in all different sporting facilities. So that's
it's going to be for the national teams as well, I think,
yes.
some parts.
Yes, we of course KNCB will use the hall as well for their practices. We have to work out that scheme, of course, with them, but yeah, and a lot of clubs in the vicinity, of course, well, as we call it, Greater Amsterdam, they will they have already indicated that they're interested to practice in our hall. So that will be also a very good occasion to get the ties between all the clubs a little bit tighter.
Definitely, and well, the opening of the hall will be some historic moment for Dutch cricket, because we have been talking about it for so many years with every, well, nobody to blame actually for, because it's costing a lot of money. But it's going to be there, which is very nice to hear. And well, can we pin you on the 1st of November?
The opening,
somewhere around.
Somewhere around, yes. No, I don't like being...
We can wait a couple of days after 20 years.
Yes. But November, definitely. Yes. Yes. Yeah, and let's not forget, it didn't only cost a lot of money, but it also cost a lot of effort from a lot of people within our club. We started almost 7 years ago to negotiate with all the people, the stakeholders involved, and finally it's coming to a result.
Have you got used to the new side of the pavilion and the facility next door, behind and next to it?
Yeah, it grows on you quite quickly. Yes. Yeah, especially because I'm so happy with it. So yeah, and it's not, for people who haven't seen it yet, it's not, it obviously it's a cricket hall and it's a big thing, but it's against the trees, it's not that prominent in the view.
It fits in the surrounding, indeed, definitely. Well, there might be pictures on the website of the KNCB.nl to see it, but it's a huge thing for Dutch cricket. There is one very good indoor facility in Rotterdam, and then as it goes in Holland, Amsterdam cannot stay behind. It took a while, but Amsterdam will have, as we just heard from Doreen, his indoor facility as well. So there is two good indoor facilities in Holland, which must help in the end. And you said already, other clubs as well. It must help. It's there to help Dutch cricket.
Yeah, it's definitely there to help Dutch cricket, and that's the way we view our facility in general. Of course, we are a cricket club with our own members, so we do things for our own members, of course. But we're also looking at Dutch cricket in general, and that's why we built this hall, but we also put a lot of effort and money in our grass square and practice square, because it's necessary for Dutch cricket to develop further.
And we are doing quite well, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I'm of course looking forward to the next match the Dutch team will play, because it has been a while.
We are all watching.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Yeah. And maybe there will be some new faces after this season, because it's so good to see all those youngsters developing in a rapid way this season.
That must be, and you're responsible for a club, but and many colleagues of you are responsible for a club. That must be the main lesson from this season, I think, from the season we had, that there is enough, at least if we give them chances. If we see here the second wicket of the VCC innings going, 39 for 2 now, nearly halfway. But well, all the youngsters did get many exposure, many games, but some of them really contributed as well, which is hopeful.
Yeah, it's really hopeful, and I think this season, although it is a really strange and out of character season, it helped to give them more exposure to top cricket, so they could develop quicker than they would have in a regular season, where the hot shots would always bat and bowl first, and they could maybe chip in a few overs. But now they were really, they had a crucial role.
What should all the clubs learn from this, for example, next year? Should there be a ruling that you can only bring 2 professionals, or what, or will that be hard?
I'm not someone who's really a fan of rulings about everything, because if you look at your club, you should already come to the conclusion that it's important to give your own youth an opportunity to play. And I think we have a great captain, for that matter, in Peter Boren, who has always been a fan of putting youngsters in and giving them a chance to get exposure to the top level. And that's crucial to develop your youth. And I don't think we should always try to get a rule or a regulation.
Common sense prevails.
Yeah, you just, as a club, you need to use your common sense. Yeah. And of course you want to win, because as a club it's really important for us to stay in the Topklasse, but not at all cost.
No, on the other hand, well, you mentioned the effort, and everybody who is involved in cricket knows how much effort without having a professional staff taking care of a grass wicket costs. So probably there should be, well, Tim de Leder suggested this morning, probably we should scrap relegation or whatever for clubs who really put effort in it, that they get a reward and can keep building instead of having to watch behind your back that you're not fall out the Topklasse, for example.
Yeah, I think there should be, how do you say it, an advantage for clubs that have grass wickets. Of course, I'm preaching for my own parish, but
you're allowed to.
Yeah, but also youth development, and let's not forget ladies cricket should be a priority and should be something that is rewarded in one way or another.
Probably oblige other clubs who don't have a grass wicket to, and oblige VRA or VCC or whoever to share the wicket as well with other teams.
Yeah, that could be an option, although we must be careful that a grass wicket is a great thing to have, but it's also a nuisance. I can tell you from experience. Yeah.
And there goes the number 3. And VCC have a long way to go from here, losing their 3rd wicket for only 39 runs in a tight spells of bowling. Very well done by Sparta, who really control it up till now, halfway the VCC innings. Bowler was Max Hoornweg, who got the wicket of Bas de Lede for 17, caught behind by Raza. And it's all the way to go from here. And it has turned out to be LBW instead of caught behind. I apologize for that. I really thought I heard and saw a nick. So it's good I'm here and not taking charge of umpiring, which is always a good thing, I can tell you. Max Hoornweg still the bowler. Would it be a bit of the icing on the cake when VRA wins this today?
Of course, yes, of course. It would be great to win this today, but it's already great to be here and participate in the semi-finals and eventually in the finals. So that's, yeah, I'm, as I mentioned, really proud of my team, and we did a good job during the regular 50 over competition. Sometimes a bit unlucky, but we did a good job, and this would definitely be the icing on the cake. Yeah. I always always like the concept of the finals day. It's always good to be there.
We were discussing indeed earlier today that we don't have many in cricket anyhow, in Dutch cricket anyhow, many these sort of games, knockout games. I mean, sometimes the league, even the 50 over league, apart from when you're really competing for top spot or probably the number 10 place, but can be dragging on a bit as well during the season. So probably we should even rethink about the new structure.
Absolutely. I've always been a fan of the playoffs, because it gave the end of the competition a bit of spice. Because if you have a few teams that are really good and a few teams that are not good at all, to put it really bluntly, then the competition tends to drag on a little bit, and then the last matches are not that important. The people already start planning their holidays and stuff like that. While if you have proper playoffs, then it's still exciting till the last minute, the last over of the season. And everything is still, for some of the teams, everything is still to be won or lost. So I'm really a fan of having playoffs again. Yeah.
Will this then something be you or other chairmen or women persons will bring this up within KNCB?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
There goes number 4. Just come back to this one. And it's really not going well for VCC, the home club. Yeah, definitely. Tight bowling, it has to be said, from Sparta. Probably not all too spectacular, but very tight and really forcing batsmen into thinking and good shots. And as you can see, it has come from 39 for 1 into 39 for 4. Opening bowler Kingma promoted a bit up the order. Mostly, probably not because of the situation, but has been batting earlier in the T20 than he does mostly in the 50 over league.
So it's not going to be a high scoring match again.
Definitely not. And it's going to be a long way to come to even 100 or 110 from here.
But then again, Sparta has to...
Oh, that's a run out missed. A big risk on that run. Probably not yet necessary.
No, not at this stage.
To take all this risk. Finger stays down and the run is being taken. Tom de Groot, probably very well known name internationally for Dutch cricket, still being remembered here because of all his heroics on Lord's one day beating England, which was an historic moment for all of us over here in Holland, and probably for all of us, for all of them over in England as well. But
were you there, John?
I was not there.
Okay.
I can tell you where I were.
I
was in a press conference with our national football coach on Iceland, and actually we stopped the press conference because of the last ball.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was nail-biting, but it was great to be there, and especially to see, of course, afterwards the crowd went into the pub to celebrate a little bit. And it was great to get all the comments from the British people who were actually, basically they were happy that we did this, because they thought in general that English team deserved a little bit of a reality check, and we gave it.
We gave it, indeed. And we are all looking forward here in Holland for another glorious moment internationally, which could have been this summer. I know you are very much involved in ladies cricket as well. How is that going in Holland at the moment?
Well, it's still there. That's a positive thing, but of course it's not going very well. It's not flourishing. The teams that are there are some of them are really, luckily the VRA ladies team is flourishing, and we get new girls every year, but some of the clubs are really struggling to put together a team. So quite a few matches get cancelled because our opponents cannot compose a team, which is really sad. And then something needs to be done, because it's already after 12 o'clock. I think something really needs to be done. Don't ask me what, because that is difficult. But yeah.
Which is a pity, because there are there are a number of countries around the world where we have 2 runs added to the still small VCC total, but there are a number of countries in the world growing rapidly into women's cricket, which means that the possibilities are there. Yeah. If I look at Bangladesh and Thailand and those countries are really growing quite quickly.
Yeah, we may have to look closely at how they do it, because maybe there are some key learnings to how they manage to grow ladies cricket. But it starts, of course, with the youth. Not many girls start playing cricket at a young age, and you need that youth experience to grow a proper ladies how do you say, competition.
And I think it's hard to get them. I mean, VRA is in the middle, in between 3 very big hockey clubs with hundreds, probably thousands of girls playing hockey, but it's very difficult to attract them into cricket. Only all the season length of hockey.
Hockey is almost 12 months a year now. I see that with my youngest daughter. She's not a real hockey talent, but even she is playing, well, I think 10 months a year. So it's not an easy target to get girls from the hockey joining the cricket club.
You got to start at home, if I hear you.
I already did, but they did start playing cricket, but they both my daughters stopped.
To be honest, I've got 2 as well who don't play cricket as well, and also involved in hockey. But well, it's hard, but let's hope it's improving, because it used to be bigger. It used to be better.
We used to have 3 ladies teams at VRA, and it was great. It was also a very good thing to have for the cohesion within the club. Because if you have a lot of women at the club, a lot of men will stay longer, there will be parties, there will be barbecues, there will be everything going on.
And you get board members from it.
And you get board members from it.
Which are always hard to find, I think, within every club and country, but you're one of them at least. VCC doing very slowly a bit of rebuilding in what looks to be a very tough innings. 13 overs gone already. 50 for 4. Tom de Groot and Kingma trying to do the rebuild. Sparta really on top. And they were, as Mudassar Bukhari explained behind this microphone as well, growing in the season, really growing in the season. Started a bit poor, but last weeks they were tough for everybody to beat. As was already the 50 over match between these two. Not big scores, 190 something, but Sparta got that one with a tremendous partnership for the 10th wicket. Couple of balls before the end, won the game over here. But then again, it seems to be tough betting. So also for the big batsmen of Sparta later on in this semi-final, it's going to be hard to find the runs. It needs probably more brains than big shots on this wicket. And VRA has shown the way this morning that you can still come to 130. I think they scored less than 5 boundaries in all of their 133. I remember Vikram Singh hitting a couple in the first overs, a 6 and a 4. And I don't think, well, probably in the end a couple were added, but there was not many boundaries, which is, of course, you always look for when you especially look at T20 cricket. There's no T20 for women as well, huh? Or is there a league, T20 league for women?
There is a league, yes. The ladies' competition is very different from the men competition in the way that there is an option to choose. You can choose to play the 40 over concept or the 20 over, or I must say. So you can also play both of them, because not all teams want to play the whole day. So they choose the short version, and some teams really like to play the longer version. And you can have both. That is because you want to please everybody in this very small group of players. If you lose a team because they don't want to play 40 overs, then that's one out of 6 teams that is gone. So. Say originally a 40 over match will be a 20 over match because the opposition is not asks to be for us to be a bit lenient and to shorten the match, because they otherwise have not enough players.
Yeah, which is always has been on the men's side as well, which has always been a problem in Holland. Are you trying to get people comfort with the game and adjust everything to fit in more people, or do you want to give the ones who like it at least some serious games? If I listen to you, that's the case with the women's cricket at the moment, which is hard, eh? Also for the women or men or whoever who like it. But you still also for yourself want to have a big game or be a big sport. Oh, that's another one. De Groot flicks it into mid-wicket into the hands of his former national teammate Bukhari. 54 for 5.
It's also very difficult, I think, for the KNCB and the ladies committee within the KNCB to decide what to do, because I've attended one of those meetings with all the delegates from the women's department, and there is not one clear direction that everybody wants to go in. So some clubs want to have the short format, others want the longer format, other clubs want both, and it's difficult to accommodate everybody.
We in Amsterdam have shown the way between VRA and ACC. If you don't make the numbers, at least combine, so you will still bring out. I mean, it's not ideal, but then if you have to on both ends 6 to bring out, you still can have a game, if that's a solution, or at least a part-time solution.
Yeah, we have some combination teams with ACC, that's correct, within the youth department, which is a good thing, because we want as many kids playing cricket as possible, and it would be a shame if we can't have a full team, that the players that want to play cannot play because there is no team for them to fit in. So that's
probably that would help the women's game as well. if you start looking around, well, not only VRA but all the clubs with women's sections, start looking around, and perhaps somebody else can bring in 3, and anybody else can bring in 2, and then it starts all with some teams at least competing.
Yeah.
And well, we have learned this summer in Holland how much we can do together if we are really stay together, in part of all thinking only between our own boundaries.
Yeah.
That's 2. Good running. And a bit of a misfield for Sparta. 57 now, 15th over. It's a tough one for VCC, which they would have expected, because Sparta, as we said, last couple of weeks in big form, and here goes number 6 on what looks to be quite a silly shot. Sparta in command. Next to me still Doreen Rauda, the president of VRA. That's going to be, well, I'm running a bit forward, but that's going to be a tough opponent, I think, Sparta, for you.
But I can tell you that Peter Boren preferred Sparta as an opponent before this match started, I must say. So I don't know how his feelings are now. But I asked him who he would rather play against in the finals, and he said Sparta. So,
being a true competitor, Peter Boren, as we know him, and as we all said and know, you have to beat everybody anyhow to win it. So,
exactly.
Better bring out the best and show your best. It's going to be exciting, definitely be exciting. There's some very good batsmen, but we're running a bit ahead now. I'm running a bit ahead now. With already declaring this match to be done, which is not the case, but it's gonna ask a lot from VCC from now on to bring it into a real contest. Youngster De Lange, the new batsman. A bit too eager on that second one, but called off, which was sensible. Kingma now to face. Oof. Got away there with a wild sweep slog. It was probably to hit it, but he didn't really get contact. End of another good over. 15 being bowled now by Sparta. Not yet up to 60. 6 wickets down. 5 to go. Bukhari still has overs. Hornweg might have, still has overs. Doesn't make the boundary, this one. Oh, and too eager to get into the runs, but he makes it back in time. Well, that's nice. It's learning every ball, also for the youngsters.
Next season is going to be a really exciting one for VRA, as we are going to host England. The Dutch.
Yeah, which is going to be great.
Yeah. I hope so. It's a bit difficult to predict exactly how it will, what it will look like, but yeah, it will be really thrilling to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hoping for thousands of spectators, also from England, but definitely also from Holland, because, well, if there is a moment to see the game at its best, it must be those days indeed, when we play those big matches being televised. And there goes number 7. It's still a matter of they were all trying to force it and speed it up, which is nearly not possible on this wicket. So count your blessings and try to find 6 runs and over from 6 balls instead of from 1 ball or 2 balls. I can imagine the pressure, mental pressure, when you're out there and look at the board and look around you with all the spectators on this day, that you feel, at your home ground, that you feel a sort of responsibility, probably a bit of pressure to speed things up, and that's what I really appreciate in the VRA innings. They really did well. They realized quite quick that this was not the wicket to go for big shots, and kept it going. It
was never going to be a piece of cake at this wicket, so that's something hopefully Sparta also sees, and we can.
Ooh, and there's another one on the hat trick now also. Another wrong-timed attempt, easily put back in the hands of the bowler, Salim, who is on the hat-trick ball now. And it's a second batting innings which we see collapse after HBS's one in the first semi-final. Folded for 38. This at this stage is definitely not a score VCC would have wanted to see on their own scoreboard. Philippe Wassevin is the next batsman, a renowned spin bowler, also in the Netherlands setup. Contributed with the bat this season in the 50 over competition, and that's definitely needed now for him again and for his club. No runs.
Sparta's doing a real good job here. They really keep the pressure. You see that the VCC batsmen at this stage cannot handle it. Some of the wickets we saw were not necessary. No. I think you will agree with me.
It's always first try to find a partnership. And said many times today, the singles can be taken and still bring you a decent score. And we have seen indeed a couple of dismissals where people looked like going for big shots which were not possible. Three for 8 for Salim in his 2 overs. Bukhari back from the church end, as it's called here in Voorburg. And he's got 2 overs left. Very experienced cricketer, Mudassar Bukhari. Probably wants to wrap up the innings as quick as possible.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Do you have any, well, prediction is a tough word to say, but how many people will fit in the VRA ground if we play England, for example, or one of the other big countries?
Well, that's difficult to say because I know for sure that the KNCB is still working with a couple of scenarios. I don't know if the scenario of no crowd is still one that is considered, but at least we have scenarios about a full house, as usual.
Which is how many?
Well, that depends on how many stands we build. Yeah, because as people might know, we don't have permanent stands, so we always have to build them. So we can decide how many people we want to have, but logistically there is a limit, of course, because you need those people to travel to the Amsterdamse Bos. You have to have enough parking space. You have enough, well, things like that. But maybe if it's a full house, it could be 10,000. But of course, there's also the scenario that we have to have less people and more distance between people. And well, I think it's a better question for the organizers within the KNCB, because of course they are the hosts for that match. And they are working on the scenarios. But of course, we hope that by then it's possible to have a full house again.
And if you are interested in watching or visiting VRA Cricket Ground for those matches, you can see on the KNCB website, kncb.nl, and work out when it's all clear how much and when these matches will be played. Because I know, well, KNCB told me there is already shown interest from the Barmy Army, which we all hope will be in Amstelveen. And of course that's also for all the other matches coming up. And as we hope, a T20 World Cup as well later next year. I still have a feeling that with Dutch cricket, with the men's team doing so well at the moment, we're on a sort of crossroad of finally or definitely breaking through and growing into a sport that counts in Holland, or that it's, well, dissolving. It will never dissolve, but that it's going to stay like it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is the moment, as you should say. We should make sure that we stay in the top league for a little while longer, and I think we should use it to market cricket better in the Netherlands, to make sure that everybody knows that cricket is there and that it's a great sport, and to get as many people playing as possible. Because those matches will be a great marketing moment. Yeah.
That's probably one of the reasons as well we are experimenting today with this one camera registration of semi-finals and final of T20. But at least that's a good shot.
Yeah.
That's a good shot.
Is it going to be a boundary? Yes, it is.
It is. It was a long wait for another boundary, but we have it. But well, I'm quite sure television will jump in if the big countries will visit Holland, and even minutes of television coverage would help for cricket in Holland, because it's not very wide known that they do so well at the moment. Oh, that's another wild one, but safe.
Yeah, but still, we should not assume that Dutch sport programs like Studio Sport will pick it up on their own, because as we thought, for instance, that when South Africa was playing in the Netherlands that it would get more exposure, but it almost didn't. Even though
they played Kenya, or you don't mean that matter? Oh, okay, when they when they played Holland, yeah.
No,
I thought you mentioned the World Cup match, which was played at VRA.
No, I meant, of course, I'm thinking of VRA, John.
Well, and that's exactly what I meant with we're on a sort of crossroad. I mean, if nobody shows up now, I mean, it can't be more serious than what we are supposed to be getting the coming years, and it's not going to be better also. So, and in that respect, it's do or die. Absolutely. And hopefully it will be do. Missed run out.
Well, at least the board is ticking a little bit now.
I wouldn't say running up to 73, but well, climbing on a steep chase, on a steep hill up to 73 in the 18th over. 8 wickets down, but at least there is some movement in the middle, apart from the stumps moving. Here goes another 2. Easy 2. Very eager Bukhari on the fielding there. It's really a matter of every run nearly counts at this moment, although they are rapidly going up to the end of the innings.
And every run is hard fought for. It's really not easier.
2 to go, 75 for 8. Murasa Bukhari for his last one. The penultimate of the Sparta bowling innings.
I always thought what is now called the church end was called the Kingma end. Because the Kingma family apparently lives over
Next
there.
to, yeah, definitely.
So in
And
a-
closer than the church.
Yes.
Coming in a bit from Bukhari for 1. Are plans being made within VRA for next season already, or is that more a winter?
Not yet. And that's basically, normally we are already on top of that. But now we have also so much to, sorry.
There goes number 9, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, yeah, with the wicket from Bukhari, which looked like a bit of the same ball he bowled the one before. And this one had success. 76 for 9. And the last batsman of VCC walks out. Tobias Nota, the new batsman, the wicket keeper. Very young guy. Son of a former first team player of VCC. Also debut season in VCC 1. And that's gonna be a boundary. Good way to start, at least.
No, but as I was saying, we have so many things on our hands now, and on our hands with the whole building of the whole, and so we start a little bit later, I think, this season to prepare for the next one. Yeah.
Well, and looking at the first team at least, it looks quite solid with all the youngsters who are there for the future, and well, of course all of us need a bit of contribution from 1 or 2 pros, but well.
Yeah, also for the coaching, because
as well.
we have, of course, we need good coaching in our youth department, of course, for the whole club, but the youth is, in that perspective, the most important. So that is something we will definitely be looking at. We have Peter Boran, who is a great coach for the children, basically for everyone, but he's very good at coaching kids and getting the best out of them. But he can't do it all by himself, so we need some good support for him in the coaching staff.
That's another 2 for Nota and VCC. Bit of unlucky for Bukhari. But he's got the wicket. 82 for 9, 1 over to go. Anything above 90 from here is probably not enough, but looks like a score. Yeah. I mean, there were moments during this innings when above 90 looked even unreachable, so VCC dragged themselves a bit through the innings. Last over for Sparta is going to be bowled by Max Hoornweg. Okay, show your final prediction score for VCC, Doreen. Mine also.
I would say 88.
Okay, I'm going to be a bit more positive. 91. First one is added. 83. 5 balls to go. And Sparta will be rubbing their hands when it will be around that total.
Well, they still have to make it, and it's a difficult pitch, so...
Having seen their batting capabilities, well, if they don't make it, it's theirs to lose, as you say in English, from here on. With all the batsmen they have aboard, they should really not be... Well, we are being teased by wasps over here, so if you lose us sometimes, it's because we are moving away from the microphone, but... They should play the final after having VCC for this one. '84. Max Hoornweg. Was there any bonus in the budget of VRA for a win today? I'm asking on behalf of a friend.
You mean for the best commentator?
No.
I cannot reveal anything about that yet.
Okay, cool. I hope it will be drinks at least. Final score. We both were wrong, but you were closer. 85 for VCC. Halfway the second semi-final. VRA waiting in the final. It looks to be Sparta the opponent, but still there are batting innings to go, and there is 2 balls to go, or 85 all out. Yes, it is 85 all out with 2 balls to go. That's the exact information I need to give you. So it's up to Sparta with Lennart van Wijk, the main attraction as a batsman, and looking at his numbers only of the season and his capabilities, this looks like a piece of cake for him, single-handedly probably, but there is other batsmen as well. We'll be back when the second innings resumes. Thank you very much, Doreen, for joining us. Enjoy the final anyhow, enjoy it, and may the best one win. Thank you very much, and I hope you will be back when we come back with the innings of Sparta. Bowling? Yeah. And it's, let me see. And Leonard, or not, on the other end, yeah. Welcome back. Sparta innings about to start in the second semi-final of today. Next to me, Peter Boren, VRA captain. Congratulations on getting to the final.
Thank you, John.
Just let's see the first ball of Arjen Dutt. It's not big score to get to for Sparta. Just a quick review on your match, which looked like a real proper team effort.
Yeah, we were pretty happy to make 130. I don't think par was 130. It was probably around 100 this morning, especially. It was a pretty tough wicket, so I think the batting was really good.
And you must be happy there was, well, a lot of youngsters contributing.
Yeah, I guess if you look at our batting innings, and it was pretty much run by the youngsters. Shiraz Russell batted beautifully, and we had Debrook Descript to come in and do very well, batting at 3. And I think we out-cricketed them. We ran well between the wickets, and as I said, the wicket wasn't easy, so it was pretty smart cricket from some young guys, and obviously with myself and Ben only contributing 5 runs between us, it's pretty good for us to, it's actually ideal. I love to see us win with the youngsters getting the job done.
Looking from here, it looked like really adjusting to the situation the wicket gave you this morning.
Yeah, in a way I was pretty happy to win the toss because I think when I looked at the wicket it did not look easy to bat on, and I think in a way maybe Javiers were kind of happy to restrict us to 120 where that was always going to be a winning score. So in a way I think Javiers probably missed the boat a little bit. They didn't put us under a lot of pressure. It wasn't easy to play big shots, but they let us have a lot of 1s and 2s, and that, and at some stage you're still going at 6 and 7 over without taking risks. So it'll be different the second game, of course, because both will be playing a team that's already played on the surface as well, and it'll be a different story.
We have been asking for questions, and well, they keep coming in. Surprisingly, or probably not, one of them was from HBS, your opponent from this morning. Why don't we play this one, as we are looking for big scores or big hitting on an artificial wicket? What's your opinion on that? And I think they were a bit unlucky this week with the weather, and the covers didn't do their job. So, I've always been a big fan of finals day being on an artificial wicket, and it's probably a smaller ground, and we see a bit more entertainment. And because this has been a bit of a grind today, I think it's fair to say there's people watching on the stream of, it's tough cricket. It's actually quite fun to play, but it's not as maybe as fun as it could be to watch. Yeah. In saying that, it's something we need to adjust to, all the teams playing today, and find a way of getting a score. I guess, it could also be on a really good grass wicket. I think they were just a bit unlucky this week. I see the value in playing on a grass wicket. We say, we want to play on a good grass pitch, but also we have some, here in Holland at club level, we play on some grounds that are pretty well suited to T20 on mats, and perhaps it's something to think about in the future. Earlier in the season, for example, when there is less chance of rain or humid conditions?
Yeah, possibly. But this year has been a very interesting year, and I think, like, in terms of not just this T20 competition, but also the top class competition, where we had a proper competition. We got a proper champion in VCC who deserved to win it. I think the KNCB, a lot of credit goes to them because, basically it's been a lot of hard work to get this off the ground, and I think it's been a proper comp with, perhaps at the start, when Corona had just finished, of course it's still going, but when we were allowed to play, people weren't sure what we were going to get out of the season. I think it's been really good. So, Kingmar's got the new ball, first ball to Van Veek, a little bit straight, works it for 1. Van Veek, of course, has been in amazing form, John.
Unbelievable, huh? This year, only in T20s, mostly in T20s, although he played you Sunday, I think, in the 50 overs.
Well, we played him a couple of weeks ago, and we got him out first ball. I think it was a bit of an unlucky decision, but we thought perhaps you get him, you get the team, but they batted very well, and Sparta are not to be underestimated. They're a dangerous team. It's not just all about him, although he has been incredibly dangerous so far this year.
488 runs, I think he scored in the T20 only. And this one was close as well. What do you make of the 85? Is it still going to be a struggle to get there?
Well, I think that, Sparta probably rely quite heavily on Leonard, Raza, and Bukhari, of course. But if you look at the VCC bowling attack, you've got King Ma, Deleda, Aryan Dutt, obviously Flippy Bossevane is also playing with his ankle. I mean, that's four Dutch cricketers, and if you had an attack in this competition on this finals day who was going to defend 85, they're probably that attack. They've got every chance if they get a couple of early wickets.
After winning it this morning, did you already have a favourite to play in the final, or?
It's T20, so as I just talked about with that bowling attack particularly of VCC, I mean, I think they're probably a little bit of a stronger bowling attack than Sparta, but what I just said about the three guys, particularly from Sparta, dangerous batters. So not too worried about it. I mean, they've both got their strengths, and going into that game, we have to play well ourselves, and it's sort of doesn't really matter. For us, it's not going to change too much in terms of our plans. It's a very good start here from King Ma. He's hit straight onto a line and length, not giving anything away, and it's not easy if you hit a good line of length on this track, as we've seen all day.
If one should be able to do it when you live next door, it's Vivian Kingma. Getting indeed a solid first over, which keeps VCC also around, and which keeps them a bit in belief, hopefully, that they can make at least a fight of this one. Give Sparta a fight for this 85. And this one is gonna be close, but is missed. So Sparta gets away. That's also I've seen a couple of very risky runs, and in situation where you think, why? Even when you're lost, not with your innings. Also, you also had one, I think. But well, it's nearly a profession. Good running.
Yeah, in a way, I thought in our game we actually ran between the wickets really well.
Yeah, you run well.
So we put them under a bit of pressure. I think in terms of, you do want to rotate the strike. I think obviously on a wicket which is not that easy to hit through the line and to score. We've seen all day people struggle to do that. Then you're obviously looking to get those singles and put them under pressure, because there's going to be a lot of dot balls on a track like this, and yeah, I think I don't mind guys taking on a field. The guy, he's got to pick that up in one go and throw down the stumps. It was a pretty good effort, but actually doesn't happen that often, does it?
7 after 2. Good first over from Kingma. It needs brains, I think, to bet on this wicket.
Yeah, a bit of that and a little bit of talent, perhaps. I think we've seen also. I don't think the way is necessarily to go out there looking just to score singles. You need to still be positive in the way that you're playing your shots. We've got Ali Ahmed coming in now to bowl to Van Wyk. And I think this might be the kind of bowling that, although he's a good bowler, this might be up Leonard Van Wyk's alley a little bit.
Because of?
I think today, the wicket, you do want to hit the pitch, and Ali, he's, like I say, he does do a little bit with the new ball in terms of swing, but he would probably bowl along the pitch a little bit more, and that, I think he might be looking to go downtown here from Wyk.
That's a wide one. Is he a difficult batsman to bowl at, Van Wyk?
As I say, we've only played them once this year, and he was out first ball, so I'm not really
sure. You would say no, he's not a difficult batsman.
But no, obviously he's a very dangerous player. You can see now they've got a long off and a cover sweeper, so Ahmed is looking to bowl wide outside off stump. But Leonard's going to try and drag that. This is not a bad plan, I think, because in terms of his strengths, he's looking to go down the ground. Anything straight is going to go over mid-on or over mid-wicket even. So here we've, I can see, I quite like to see at least a plan, whether or not it's, Van Wyk might still score, but at least you can see here it's pretty obvious he's going to go wide of the off stump.
Coming out of the crease for Van Wyk, but not really getting a score on this one.
No, it's excellent to see, and good control here from Ahmed. If you have the odd offside wide, it's not the end of the world, but you see also already Van Vaak has to move across outside off stump to try and play across the line, and there's excellent captaincy from Tom de Groot and good execution from Ali so far.
And another good one.
I think Bas de Leijden's actually captain, isn't he? Sorry about that. He's a good captain too, Bas.
Well, they have a three-manship, as Bas explained this morning, with Tom and Viv contributing. As he explained, it was Viv advising on the bowling, Tom on the batting, and he being the all-rounder and taking the decisions.
Well, I was very impressed with. Well, that could be out, and that's
Be out. And it is easy catch. And the big one. That's the one they wanted, to give them a chance at least.
well, it gives them a real chance at 8 for 1 and Van Vaak back in the hut. You'd have to say that VCC, that's the guy who's averaging over 100 in the competition. We haven't seen anyone really be able to take it on today, and again, very disciplined bowling because they've got the field set. He bowled it wide outside off stump. Van Vaak, as I said, was always going to go and try and take on Ali. And you'd have to say now that VCC, I mean, it's a huge wicket in the context of this game because whether or not 85 is obviously well below par in a T20, but on the surface, I'll tell you what, it could still be very interesting, this game.
Ali Raza, the new batsman for Sparta. 8 for 1, as Pete said. It's a bargain for VCC, as the presenter around the ground told the wicket. Are you happy with the season you had? Well, not your personal, but for Dutch cricket or probably for VRA, with all the limits we had this season with Corona going on, but the way it worked out to be?
Yeah, I think I was very happy that it ended up being a half a top class league. I think it was the right way to go about it. It was, as I said earlier, we got a deserved champion. There was competitive cricket and some teams struggled without overseas players, of course, but I think it was the right call, and I think they did it well. I think a little bit of a shame we're not. This is the last day. I mean, for mine, we only had half a season. It would have been nice to play the whole of September.
As well, yeah. It's King Ma again, with the main wicket being taken already, and this one is close and is gonna be not given. They looked all convinced, apart from the one who decides in the end. We couldn't see. I couldn't see. Did you?
No, you can't really tell from here, but it was a reasonable appeal, but then when given not out, there wasn't an obvious disappointment. So perhaps, yeah, there might have been. There was probably a noise, but I'm not sure if he hit it.
But another good start from King Ma on his first ball of his second over. And that's the boundary.
Yeah, that's the first poor delivery from King Ma. He's been very disciplined, and just the leg stump half volley there, well put away. I think just needs to be careful here, VCC, that these last 3 overs of power play are quite important. I think Sparta, if they can keep it tight, VCC, they'll be right in it. That once you spread the field here and you take the pace off the ball, it's pretty difficult to score.
With the wind picking up a bit, and this was not very close again for King Ma. But there is some momentum now for VCC. I mean, if you back halfway in the dressing room, if we get Van Vaak, we have a chance, and here it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they just bowl discipline from now on, I'm telling you, seriously, they need another 74 runs. It seems that's 73 runs now. That's a fair way away. It sounds a bit ridiculous in the T20, but these are different conditions here today, and you can see King Ma steaming in here. and he's bowling a good line and length, and I just don't think when you put it on a decent spot here, I just don't think it's that easy to score. You know, you can't. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do to that to score. I suppose in a way, Sparta, one way of doing it, I guess, is you're working singles. You're trying to find ones. I think what we do in our team is we have roles for certain players, and I think one way you could do this chase was have one or two guys come out and just have a bit of a go. You get a bit lucky. You get 20 odd, you break the back of it, and then the rest of the guys can just bat. I think VCC, in a way, when they batted, they probably didn't show a lot of intent, and maybe they were 15, 20 runs short of what they could have got if they'd shown a bit more intent.
Kingma keeping control, just a single again.
So you've had a pretty long day behind the microphone here.
I'm okay, I'm loving it.
I've still got a final to go, but
then Ryan Campbell will help me out. So
yeah, good, excellent. I mean, it's been pretty attritional cricket so far, so it's pretty. It's a tough day behind the mic. Oh, that's Viv.
Bit of a mix-up, but not a very good throw.
It almost looked like it might have Ali's throw was not far from going towards the stumps, but Kingma's gone in front of the stumps there for some reason, and you know, he's committed. He just loves it, doesn't he, Viv? So he's always going to be going as hard as he can, and whether or not it was the right thing in that situation, I'm not sure. And we're 14 for 1 after 4. A great start here from VCC with the main man back in the hut. Tell you what, this is going to be a good game, I think, John.
Which is nice to look forward to, at least, which I, to be honest, didn't expect halfway with that 85, and well, knowing the batting lineup of Sparta a bit, what they're capable of. But VCC immediately from the start have put it into a fight. Bit of mistimed shot, but not a real catching chance. Single one.
We see here again the same plan that worked for Van Wyk. Yeah, VCC and Delata for Ali here have gone with the long off and deep cover. He's going to bowl every ball outside off stump. And he's been pretty disciplined at doing exactly that so far. It's just not that easy to hit through the line, is it, John, today? But that doesn't mean that you can't find a way, and these guys are going to have a look at this field, and they know what's coming basically from Ali. It's going to be outside off stump. You've only got 2 men out still, so there's still chances to score on that offside. I'm not sure about walking across and trying to hit it legs. I think that's pretty tough on this track.
The field looks okay. Not really fine gaps. Well, that's what I really liked about the VRA innings, that you quite quickly adjusted and started pushing ones and twos instead of looking for big impossible shots, and everybody did, as it looked from here. I mean, that's what it's all about, getting the most out of the situation you're being presented instead of and the adjustments they all made. Oi. It doesn't go all the way. 2 men chasing and 1 picking up. 17 in last ball.
You know, as I say, it's discipline. It's the right line. The one thing with Raza though is he does like to free his arms outside off stump, so he's probably looking over that cover fielder in the circle, and as I said, there's opportunity out there. But that's very disciplined again from Ali, VCC, 5 overs in and only 17 on the board, John. I tell you what, they're a long way away from getting these runs.
Bas de Lede, the new bowler, which you have been seeing a lot, I think, during this season, is really improving his bowling.
Yeah, he's actually got, he's always had a nice action, but he's very good at working on it too and making sure that everything's perfect, his biomechanics are good. And actually he has picked up a little bit of pace as well. And not that necessarily today pace is going to be everything, but he's pretty dependable sort of bowler. And as I was saying earlier, an excellent young captain. When we played them in the 50 over competition, I managed to bat for a while against them, and I was very, very impressed with his captaincy as well. He's an impressive young man and a real talent and future of Dutch cricket. Not a good start though.
That's the commentator's curse, which I actually had on your betting as well this morning, saying you were really patient and looking, and then all of a sudden that the LBW decision came, which I'm not going to ask you about. Okay. It looked like you went quite a bit forward, but it's hard to judge. We're not talking about the decisions without having seen replays or whatever.
Honestly, I could have walked for that one. Yeah.
Yeah?
Put my
Okay.
pad down in front of all three and got hit. Yeah.
That's very honest then. Oi, the lady coming close now. One of, or am I exaggerating, one of many Dutch talents?
I mean, he's a bit older now, Bussy, so like
You won't count him as a talent anymore.
he's definitely talented, but everyone's in different categories, aren't they? I mean, this guy, he's been around for a bit, you know. I used to play for Holland with Bussy, so and that's well bowled again. Oh goodness!
Oh,
Yeah, that's a suicide run. That was the running you were talking about earlier, John, wasn't it? Yeah. This one was not a good call.
no, well, it definitely was in HBS's innings. Some runs that you think, well, this is definitely not the way to go, even if you got to score 133. But it looks sometimes like in any level, but people are being rushed by the scoreboard instead of by the situation.
This is a very nice start here from Bussy. He's actually, it looks like that's, you know, the batters get excited that might be in the slot, but actually Bussy's just getting a little bit of shape away here, which is not something we've seen a lot of today, actually. He's presenting that scene nicely, and he's just getting a little bit of shape. He's unlucky there not to get a little nip to the keeper.
Kept low a bit, no run. Field is looking good for VCC. And as you said, Boissevin still coming up with 4 of his overs, if the ankle can bear 4 overs. And the short one, he likes to bowl that one, eh?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not. Anyway, obviously, in hindsight, it wasn't a great delivery because they've let them have 4 runs, and every run is crucial when you've only got 85 on the board. But he's getting a bit of shape, and they look like he's struggling. So, I mean, you know, I don't mind it as an attacking option. But if I was, you know, it was the last ball of the power play, and you're trying to get out of your over, I'm not sure that's the option. But anyway, that is hindsight talking. He could have also got a wicket, John. So, yeah, he was all over them on the length. So it's, yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
He seems to have it nearly every over to at least try to bowl a bouncer. Now, I've seen him a lot this summer, and well, I've seen quite a few. And he said before, he said this morning as well behind the microphone, and I love to bowl a bouncer now and then.
Yeah, and he's got a good bouncer. He's got a nice action for it. He's you know, he's just nice strong action. So he has got a good bumper. I think it's a great option, particularly if it's a flat wicket. But today, I don't think it's necessary 100% when a length ball is so hard to hit.
Boissevin brought into the attack now. This is from the talent category, huh? Wasserman.
Yeah, and having especially as a leg spinner, it gives it a good rip. I think it's definitely in the talent category. The other nice thing, especially in T20 cricket, is that you don't, as a leggy, when you've got protection, you don't actually have to bowl every
We are very happy to welcome you back to VCC in Voorburg in the Netherlands. I'll introduce our co-commentator again, Ben Cooper, who was in the VRA side, who got to the final and waiting for the outcome of the second one. 28-2, Sparta's innings, with the main man Van Wijk already back in the hut, as Peter Boren told us. It looks like VCC, at least Ben is able to give it a fight, to make it, to turn it into a fight.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a good game, this one. They didn't exactly put on the total they would have liked, I don't think, for bat, but as you saw this morning with our game, anything's possible when you've got runs on the board, and the wicket isn't an easy one, isn't exactly easy to bat on, and with the right bowling and the right leadership from Bastelator as he runs in here, you never know what could happen here. But I can see this being a nice tight game and a very exciting game at that.
Because 85 always does look reachable, but it seems to be quite a long way to go.
Yeah, no, in T20, 85, very chaseable score, but you have to take into account your conditions, the wicket and all that sort of stuff. So, as I said, with good leadership and some good skills from the VCC boys, they could just pull this off.
And as your team did this morning as well, because most of the batsmen seem to adjust quick to the situation. It must feel, there must be some pride inside the team, because it was a real team effort.
Yeah, no, look, we had our game plan come in here, and the boys knew what they needed to do when they got out there, and obviously with Pete in with us sitting down, he talked to the boys, let them know what his thoughts were on how they should go about it. But yeah, the boys were very, very good in setting up a score for us, and the way they went about it was just outstanding for me.
Boissevin back for his second over, 29-2, 8 overs gone. The leg spinner from VCC. But in that going up to this season, well, probably going up to the T20 competition with your club, with VRA, were you really challenging this one? Were you really going out to be on this day, or?
Look, it's been a very funny season, and I guess every opportunity we got to play a game, we were looking to win, be that in T20 or 50 over comp. But yeah, we've had a very good T20 season. Obviously, we've made the final now, so. Once we got to that quarter-final stage, we were backing ourselves. We've got a great bunch of young, talented players. Obviously, combined with Pete's leadership and a bit of seniority from Pete, and I guess myself, being a senior these days, I think we just got a really good mix and we just decided that, yeah, it's worth a good crack and see how it goes.
Is it a role you like as well?
Playing a bit of a leader's role probably doesn't come natural to me, but it's something I've got to build into. I'm now also seen as a Dutch senior. I guess it was a bit weird for me to hear it at 28 being a senior. You think senior players are, early or mid 30s. But yeah, it's something that I'm looking forward to taking on and really improving my skills as a leader.
Which was a good season then, to find out also.
Yeah, it was. The shortened season was interesting, and obviously having all the young guys getting an opportunity really gives a chance for guys to work on everything, including myself, with those leadership skills.
Bit of a loosener there from Boissevin, but not real punishment, only a single. .53 yeah. Just one edit. But there is now some responsibility on the shoulders of Bukhari, I think, for this innings. Facing Boissevin. Any thoughts of an opponent already in the final?
Look, I've obviously thought about it, but it's a tough one to call. Both teams got some very dangerous players in their sides. Obviously, as you just said, a bit of responsibility on Bakari here to try and get his side home, and I think he really relishes the challenge of having that responsibility. You know, he's a great player for Holland. We've seen before what he can do for club stuff as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he bats long here and gets them very close, if not home.
Bowling change for VCC. Iftikhar Ahmad is the new bowler, replacing Bas de Lede. And that's 2. Oh, but he is in. Sharp running by Bukhari. Talking about seniors.
No, I think that's the key here for these guys, is just running hard, hitting the boundary riders, putting the pressure on the field. You know, if they can run hard for the next 6-7 overs, who knows? They could be there, or they could be, within 20 of the score with time left. So,
is that what they should do from here? Look it really over by over?
It is one way to do it. I myself sort of like to work out the equation. I'll do runs remaining versus balls remaining, and I kind of track it that way, so I know, if we're still on target or not. The other way that some teams will do it is they'll do 10 run blocks when they know how many they need. So, needing just under 50 now, you can do 5 10 run blocks. Just tick that off as you go. So there's a couple of different ways to do it, but yeah, I think either doing it over by over, but bring it right back to ball by ball, I guess. Don't need to be playing a big shot at this stage when they can just knock it round and run hard.
Oei. On a loose ball, what looked like a loose ball. But VCC already must be happy that they at least get a fight out of it. That they put Sparta in a thinking position at least, instead of them going quickly and solidly onto the 85, which is a hard total to defend. And that is being put away, but there is a fielder out there. So only one on that bit short ball. Getting a question? Oh, okay. Okay. We're going to read them out, so people perhaps... where is it? What?
So it's a list of T20 run scores over the last 2 years.
Ah!
With Max O'Dowd 6th.
International list of run scorers, yeah.
Yeah, T20I run scores over the last 2 years.
Sterling, O'Brien,
Baba Azam, KO Rahul, Andy Balbirnie, Max O'Dowd of the Netherlands, just above Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Ben Cooper.
Max is listening, because this must be wonderful to hear.
I think Max might be asleep.
Yeah, he probably will be asleep. But this is a reason to wake up.
Yes, so...
are you in it as well? I can't read.
Yeah, I'm there 1, 2, 3 below Maxi, so... It's good to see some of the locals, or our boys and other associate members amongst the big names.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? The coming years. To come in there. Arjen Dutt is back into the attack for VCC. If you got to go, Ben, you got to go, huh? I won't disturb. We don't want to disturb your preparations for this final. Would it be a bonus on the season to win it? Because that's what you're in for as well.
Yeah, no, look, we thought we had a chance with the top class stuff, and things didn't go our way. So yeah, just, you know, as we said, it's been a very interesting season this year, and to take home a title would be very good. I mean, I'm not sure when VRA last actually won a title, so and just to be part of it would be even better. As Bakari slaps that away over Cow Corner, coming back for two.
I read, I must be honest, I forgot, but VRA won it three times between 2010 and 2012. And the 50 overs, I'm not sure what was the last one.
I know we played the best of three final.
Yeah, don't mention that one.
13. And that's the last time I think we made it to the finals, other than the T20s. I think we've made quarterfinals, but yeah, to get another.
Talking about low-scoring games, that three final, yeah. Reverse, just a little nick. It's not going all the way. In front of the camera, picked up by Vossevin and brought back to Tobias Nota. 44 for 2.
46 with the runs added, so within 40 at the just over halfway. So in a good game here.
And halfway the overs as well. So will it be, in your opinion, will there be a big difference with the situation for the final, or is it going to be like this?
The wicket itself, I'm not sure. It's going to be a fresh wicket, so it might do a little bit early.
There will be another strip.
It will, yes. So, well, I believe it's going to be at a fresh wicket. Confirmation we will have a new wicket. So with no cricket on it, no one's sure what it will do. So that'll be interesting. But I would like to think it'll play similar to this current wicket, but that's just something we'll have to wait to find out.
And that's the one you see on the left side of the one in use on your screen. We still do hope you like our coverage, as we are experimenting a bit from the Netherlands with this beautiful system from Frogbox. Live coverage of semi-finals, and from 4:30 on Dutch time, the final between VRA and the winner of this second semi-final, Kingma Beck from, well, let's call it camera end, today at least.
Just making sure his field's right here. List of champions.
In the T20.
VRA 10, 11 and 12.
Yeah, 10, 11, 12. Quick started it as first one in 27. Quick from The Hague, HCC, Excelsior, 3 times VRA. Dosti from Amsterdam. Hermes in 2013. 14 from Schiedam, 3 times ACC from Amsterdam. HBS and VOC, the last 2. And HBS was a losing finalist and a losing semi-finalist today.
Decent team, HBS. Obviously the loss of Tobias Visse to injury was not ideal for those boys coming into the back end of this season and finals day. Very dangerous player. Unfortunately not here for, I guess, a spectator's point of view, for entertainment.
We will all be looking to you guys to bring up the entertainment in the final. .49, 12th over, Kingma bowling. Oh, and there's the wicket, the third one. And the fight is back on. Sparta looked to have steadied the ship a bit. Because, it's always about building partnerships, I think. I hear a lot of talk about building partnerships.
Yeah, no, even in this short form of a game, partnerships are needed. I mean, you can have one guy absolutely smoking it, but if he doesn't have batters hanging around, you know, he might get nervous, he might stop playing his shots, and that could just be what gets him out as well. So yeah, partnerships not just with the bat, but also with the ball, very important in our game. So I think Sparta will be looking to quickly build into another partnership here. As I said, I'd be looking to hit and run here. Well, not exactly every ball, but find the gaps and run hard. Coming to the end of the 12th over, leaves them 48 balls for the last, what have we got, 37 runs required. So it's not exactly a big ask, but with the skills of the VCC boys, if they can keep picking up the wickets regularly here, as I said, it could be a very interesting game down to the wire.
It's funny because you just explained how you play it when you're out in the middle, but you're doing exactly the same now when you sit here. I mean, counting balls and counting runs to come or to score.
I guess
it's sort of second nature.
That's just what I do.
Is that what you do when you watch a game on television as well?
Sometimes, but I don't normally have to do that because it's listed in the bottom corner. It's got runs required, overs remaining.
It gets you lazy. It gets your mind lazy.
No, I just like to follow the game. I've always enjoyed following the game. No matter what it is, I like following stats. So I guess it's just second nature for me to keep my mind ticking over, focused on the game I love.
Kingma keeping the pressure on the new batsman, which is Ibrahim Keel. Oh, and he gets it.
That's not knocking it around, unfortunately. A big swing there. And yes, Viv Kingma is the one knocking it around. Middle stump pegged back there. Lovely sight for all the bowlers and VCC fans.
It looked a bit like a wild sweep, huh, on your second ball.
Not exactly a textbook cricket shot.
That's very diplomatic by Ben Cooper. And all of a sudden, it's 49 for 4 in the 12th over. And Sparta would have had many game plans, but I doubt if this one was in there. Because the momentum has changed. And it looked like, as I concluded the innings of VCC, Sparta's to lose. And it's heading a bit in that way now. Bukhari taking his role as a captain, talking to the new batsman Singh. I really didn't expect this.
No.
And you can say, well, that's stupid because you should expect everything, but
No, well, as you said, they were building into a nice partnership for the third wicket. But as you said, there's some talented bowlers in this VCC lineup, none other than Viv Kingma as well. He's shown it for Holland and he's now shown it for his club side VCC that he has the skills. 2 in the over and a little single out to square leg there to what I believe ends the over.
definitely. So, and keeps Bukhari off the strike as well. So it's Singh. 50 up, 36 needed, even behind Duckworth Lewis at the moment. Well, and of course we all wanted to see big cracking shots and people hiding, but this could be interesting as well. I mean, when it's developing into these sort of games.
Yeah, no, obviously T20 was made for the boundaries, the excitement, the big hits. Obviously had the zing bails to light it up as well, but our game can be just as exciting when you have one of these tightly fought games, back and forth with who's got the edge, but yeah, it's going to be a good one, this, I think.
Single there. on Dut's first ball from the other end. In his third over, brings back Bukhari on strike. Oh, good ball. Can vary a bit in pace as well, that. I've seen him bowling with a medium pace as well this season even, I think. But I think he wants to be a spinner. Have you got any idea what your winter, for example, is going to look like? Not even asking about next year, but...
I am booked in for a flight to Australia a month from today, so given that'll go to plan as Bukhari top edges.
And that's the end of his innings.
Caught by Bosavane. Yeah. That's the wicket they were looking for.
Definitely. 51 for 5. 13th over, chasing 85 only. But it's going to be, it was already, but even more now, a very tough chase. Just finish your
yes, so
travelling plans.
yeah, I've managed to get a flight back to Australia in a month. All going to plan and COVID allowing. I'll head back over there for the Australian summer. Back down in Adelaide with my club there, Port Adelaide. And I'll play the season there until either there is a Dutch trip, if we can get something pre-season. Otherwise I'll stay there till basically the start of next season. So
You'll definitely be back in Holland next year.
I'll definitely be back, no doubt.
Cool. Good to hear. And a warning to all others? No, it isn't. And you got to go in quarantine then when you come back to Australia.
Yes, I'll get back and I've got the standard 2 weeks quarantine. I believe from calculations I come out of quarantine 2 or 3 days before round 1 of the club competition. So a bit tight, but I think it should be okay.
We have seen you a lot. We can guarantee Port Adelaide that he is quite in good shape. And perhaps the rest in quarantine will help. $51 for 5. Coming round the wicket now, Aryan Dutt to the left-hander.
Very good over from Dutt there. Was that a wicket maiden? Or was there a run? I'm not too sure.
I think there was a run, because I think it was on
Not
0
sure.
for 10.
No, there
and this
was
one,
first
yeah,
ball.
the first ball was a run.
But-
Yeah, because Bukhari came to the striking end. Yeah.
1 for 1 off the 13th over. Very, very good bowling. As Deleda brings himself
Back,
on.
yeah. Bas de Lede still has 2 left as well. Successful with the bouncer in his second over.
Very economical so far, just 8 runs off his 2 overs. And 1 more run there to square. I think the scale is tipped in VCC's favour with that last wicket of Bukhari, a very big wicket. With the likes of Deleda with 2 overs left. Kingma, I assume, has 1 or 2.
One.
And Philippe Bosavane
Still got 2.
has
Dutt
2.
has 1.
So great quality in the bowling left to try and get them home here.
Kingma has 1 left as well. Bosavin has 2. And Bas has 1 after this one.
So if it goes a distance, I'll just have to find one or two other overs. We've got Ali Ahmed, of course. But yeah, with the quality of those four boys, and Ali Ahmed, of course, I would be backing VCC from here, even though there's not a lot of runs left to score.
You heard Ben Cooper predicting his own opponent for the final, which starts at 4:30 Dutch time. And that looks... No, I was going down leg. But keeping pressure, Bastelede and VCC. And there was the odd bouncer again. Nearly every over he finds one, Bas.
No, I think it's a good option. Just a little bit of aggressive bowling there. You know, if you can bowl it, why not?
Why not?
And just keeps the batsman thinking as well. He's got the field set to be able to bowl it. So as he comes back in, he gets a low full toss hit down the ground.
Single, and it's really a matter of singles probably to get this score for Sparta. Yeah, 32 of 36. Boissevin. Leg spin from the church end. It's a loser.
Oh,
A loser.
away for that,
Yeah.
Maybe just the one.
It's only one. Credits to VCC, attack and fielding, for getting it into a game after their low scoring 85. And they got Sparta now really thinking not out, given.
May not be out, but it's another dot ball. Just the one run off of 4 balls this over. Very much what VC are looking for, dots.
That's a single. Not too much danger. Not too much damage. I've been discussing with some of your colleagues as well today, looking out to a day like this. Don't we have we should have more knockout games or games like this in Dutch cricket, I feel. Or will it be hard to find a system where they fit in?
No, I agree. I think days like this and having knockout games is very different pressures to what you feel just in your normal club cricket. Obviously, there's pressures in all games, but you know, you lose, you're knocked out. There's a lot more pressure in that. You know, we used to have the best of 3 finals for the top class of 50 over comp. I'd love to see that come back if we could fit it in, but I mean, we've got to find the time, and with the hockey and football seasons, it seems to always be encroaching more and more each year. It does become difficult, but
we change the format of the league to fit those in at least.
Potentially, yeah, but as I said, I'd love to see him come back, and it does, for some people, it brings out the best in a player, and for others, you find that they can't really deal with it as you may have expected.
And I was also thinking, but probably, and if so, you should say it, it's a stupid thought, but when you guys with the national team play in a World Cup or whatever tournament you play in, nearly every game is a knockout game anyhow, although it's in a group, but there is mostly so much pressure on each game to advance or get into the next stage or whatever, that it could help your game as well if you play them more.
Exactly. Unfortunately, yeah, that seems to be the case with those tournaments for us. Is it's always a pressure game. There's always something riding on it, and yeah, the more you can play pressure games, if it is in club cricket or not.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Maybe stayed a touch low there from Ali Ahmed. He's not the tallest of bowlers though, and that's pretty plumb, I would think.
That's what my thought was as well. It looked very confident.
6 down now for 57.
And imagine, as Subir next to us is saying, it's the first time they are needing 6 per over, which was hard to think about even when they started, when you only have to make 85.
No, exactly. 85 was that's 4 and a quarter and over or something like that. So it's not exactly asking a whole lot, but as I said, it's finding a way. I think VCC has shown how much they want to make this final. Buster later marshalling his team and finding a way to get those dots. As I said last over, I think there was only 2 off the over and not many off the over before that. So very good bowling, and I stick with my prediction that VCC can pull this off.
And there goes another one into the hands of Kingman. No, he can't reach it. It just fall above his head and over the boundary for 4.
Just over the outstretched hand of Kingman there at mid-on. A great effort and unable to reel it in at the boundary. 4 more onto the score. Bit of hope comes into the Sparta camp.
Well, if you see the reaction indeed from all the batsmen on the side, on a simple 4, it tells everything about the situation they're in. 61 for 6.
Ahmed just adjusting the field here. Kingma drops back to the rope at long on.
And a big miss hit.
Again, there's that dot that I was talking about. Finding ways to get those dots. Just builds that extra little bit of pressure. 1 less ball for them to score off. 1 more ball, the run rate grows a little bit. In comes Ali Ahmed again. Finds another dot outside the off stump.
Big swings of the bat, but no contact. Last ball of the 16th over. Just the one, and Bas de Lede gets it into the bowler's end, but it misses the wicket. 62 for 6, 16 gone.
Run rate stays about a run a ball.
Yeah.
Ahmed not happy with the boundary, I don't think, but that's T20 for you. It happens. As I think it looks like Arian Dutt will come back on from the church end.
With his last one.
3 overs, 1 for 11 so far. Very good from young Arian. Another cheap over here would be very ideal for the VCC boys and what they will be looking for.
And the singles now are even being greeted. Every run is counting at the moment. Iron Dutt changed to round the wicket to the left-hander. And that's being pulled away, but is it be caught? No, it's going to be 6, a huge 6 on the top of the bin.
Wow, that makes things interesting.
Yeah, 69, 1-6 in this game can change it all.
I think is that the first 6 of the day?
No, Vikram had one
He did
in the
too,
beginning
sorry,
on the
yeah.
beamer. But well,
The free hit.
it says something that we all remind the sixes.
Few and far between the 6s.
Vikram Singh was the one for VRA who got the other 6 of this day, and an overthrow now. This is also what the 6 probably does, because it
Well,
pressures again on VCC. It's safe now.
What they scored off that? 3?
3. 72.
So that tight over from Dutt that I was speaking about, well, doesn't seem to be now. 10
Is
off,
Definitely not.
halfway through, 10 off. And now the VCC boys have something to think about.
And it's also funny how confidence then switches within 3 balls, and apart from
Especially T20 cricket. It can take 1 or 2 balls, as we've just seen,
definitely.
for the whole momentum to swing.
I'm not going to remind you on your predictions, which I agreed on, but also that is in 3 balls. You get another chance, and now it was close again for that.
Well, at the time I was very confident with my prediction.
Yeah, well,
but
and you were absolutely right.
it's a funny game, this cricket, so see how Dutt goes to finish here. 1 ball left. Out to the cover sweeper.
For a single. 74. 3 to go. Back into 4 per over. 3 to go. 12 to score. Big over for Viv Kingma now, his last one.
It sure is, but the experience of Kingman needs to come through here. He's been in situations like this with the Dutch team.
I can imagine that Bas got him earlier than he probably wanted. He would have saved him probably for the end, but he's definitely needed now.
Yeah, as we said, It's an interesting game. They have something to think about now. It was a very well poised game at a runner ball, but off that last big over, you need to turn to a senior bowler, an experienced bowler, and hope that he can deliver for you as Kingma runs in here from around the wicket and starts with a dot. Buster later with 1 over left as well, so he'll be bowling that, and I'm not sure who else has overs left to bowl them out. The question becomes, do you bowl the leg spinner at the death? He has only gone for 9. Kingma in and a single.
And a single saved the overthrow.
Yeah, Delata 1, Ali Ahmed 1 and Bosavain 1.
That's what you would do.
I'd be back in, well, we don't need 3 overs, we only need 2 after this. So I'd be back in Delata to bowl his. I'm not sure who will take the other.
Definitely have one. His one. Probably taking responsibility for the last one even, depending on the outcome of this one.
Well, and the next, will the last one be needed?
Yeah, will it be
Does he
needed?
bowl
So
himself to try and force the last over? King
safe for
another single. Cries of catch, but not carrying to the man at conventional mid-on.
I hope it's Dutch people watching as well, because this is really what is cricket is about.
And another single. Little whisper in the ear here. Will there be a super over? Would just make the day a bit more interesting.
And VRA only watching one of the possible opponents, using all the energy.
Down the wicket, miss hit for another single. Not sure if you
The
can
50
hear it.
over match between them was very tense as well, when they had a huge partnership, Sparta, for the 10th wicket and won it, I think 2 balls before the end. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they can hear it in the frog box, but there's plenty of noise coming from the Sparta camp now.
I think they do.
Every run. One ball remaining in this Kingma over. Dot or a wicket is what they'll be after.
Kingma's last ball, very close.
Bit of a swing from the batsman there. A miss and they get the dot.
8 runs, 2 overs, 4 wickets. That's not anymore what they're after.
And it does look like Buster Lade is going to bowl the 19th. Leaving, we believe, Ali Ahmed or Philip Bosavain to bowl the last, if it gets there.
VCC put in a fight. Look to have the best position halfway, but Sparta somehow got back into it with only 1-6 playing a huge part in that. The one that landed on one of the bins around the field here. Bastelede in the 19th over. It's not going to cross the boundary. They come back for a second, and that looks to be safe. It is safe.
Good running from the Sparta boys there.
Within one hit from victory now.
What would you be thinking, John? Would you be taking it on? One hit glory?
With my capabilities, or I would be very happy for pushing 6 singles.
I think that would be the best way to
Yeah,
go.
well, no.
6 off of, what is it, 11 balls? Yeah, 6 off 11 balls. I think you just got to try to run this in. No need for anything silly. 1 wicket and everything could change, so...
It would be glorious to do it with a 6, but very stupid to try even. And that's the one the leader was after. LBW. 4 balls to go in the over. 7 wickets down, 6 runs for a victory.
Bit of crowd support there with
Yeah.
LBW.
Is this Max going in?
This is
No.
Snoop.
Snoop. Who can hit a ball.
I have been told. I don't think I've actually seen it yet though. Not having to go at Snoop there, just haven't been at the game when it's happened. So, and I don't think this situation calls for him to hit a big
Go
ball.
for a big ball, no.
I think I guess he's a bit of a senior figure in the team as well. So, sending out the senior, the experienced player now. Not sure who else there is in the sheds. I know Max Horndeg is in there, but as far as
No.
so yeah, sending out the experienced player, I think is a great decision here.
Buster Lede, still the bowler, and he
Oh.
misses the wicket with very little margin.
So it stays 6 runs required. Now 9 balls remaining. Slowly getting closer, getting tighter.
There is the wicket again. Buster Lede, the captain of VCC, taking full responsibility in that 19th over, getting his 2nd wicket. 8 down now, 6 to go in runs, 2 to go in wickets.
My call of a senior coming out hasn't paid off for Sparta there. Snoop undone by some nice straight bowling from Buster Lede.
It looks like the ball which was needed, which Bus bowled.
Yes, well,
So I'm just-
some will say that. It's got the wicket. It's got the desired result.
Wow, but it looked like a very sensible, quite straight ball.
Max Horndeg striding out to the crease now. One man I know is not short of confidence, be it with the bat or ball. He does back himself, Max. It's a great time to show what he's capable of here. Get his team home. I think he'll become a club hero if he can.
Yeah, well. Big moment for
Straight
VCC
again?
also.
No.
Oh, missing it.
What do we got here? 1 ball left from Delata in the over. If you can pick up another wicket, 3 wickets in the over and leaving Sparta, well, it would leave Sparta with 1 wicket in hand in the final over, would make things
6 from 6 and 1 wicket.
very, very different to what we were thinking before the start of this over.
Oh, and he misses it again, but no runs also from it. Very good over from the Lede. 6 from 6, 2 wickets in hand for Sparta. And now we have Ali Ahmed. Yeah. 3 for 13 from 4. For Buster Lede. Important spell.
A very big over there from the VCC captain. We're starting to think Sparta might have been able to just walk that home, but Bus has changed that with that double wicket over. Big over here for Ali Ahmed Kazim.
Everybody in the Sparta camp would have liked to be on 80 runs with only 86 needed, but not with 8 wickets down and 6 balls to go.
did call it early. Well, early when I joined, and I'm sure it's been said before that they believe it to be a tight game, this one, and it hasn't disappointed yet.
Not at all.
They are still within one hit though. Just marshing the field. In comes Ali.
First ball, last over. Huge.
And they've got a single.
Straight hit and a single only into deep cover.
For those not well known with cricket, the convergence of the boys on the leg side there to back up the throw coming in from the offside, very important at this point of the game. Last thing you want is a little fumble from the keeper and they get the extra run. So just something simple like that can make a big difference if it was to happen.
As we saw on the 3 after the 6.
Exactly, it happens and it can be very costly. Delata just checking his field. Just the 4 of the 5 possible men outside the ring, looking to cut those singles.
And there's the wicket. And now it's only 1 wicket and 5 runs from 4 balls. Seems a long, long way for Sparta.
It does now. Full and straight seems to be the flavour of the last 2 overs. 3 wickets, 2 bowled, 1 LB. Full and straight paying off here for VCC. And this home crowd, well, what seems to be a very packed home crowd, went up very much so there with Ali's wicket. Now, what is going to happen?
Savan Sarda, the last batsman for Sparta.
4 balls,
5 runs.
1 wicket in hand.
And it's all about who will play Ben Cooper's VRA in the final, starting at 4:30. It's a tremendous fight in this low-scoring semi-final over, but tension up till the last few balls of this match.
Ali Ahmed coming back in.
Pushed away for 1. It's
Third looking for 2.
no, it's not worth the risk. They can't take the risk anymore.
Both of them down there for nice strong throw into the keeper. Latif back on strike. The set batsman, 15 off 16. We've seen him hit a 6 already today.
And a 4 will do it.
It will, but as I've said before, is it worth taking on the risk? Ahmed changing to around the wicket to the left-handed Latif. Three men out on the leg side.
Oh, that's a poor ball, and that's the game on the full toss.
Full toss outside the off.
Aye, aye, aye.
Put away.
And Sparta
Backward of point.
got it in the end.
And as you can see, the Sparta boys charging out
Of
onto the
course.
field.
I think you got to prepare your final. You know who the opponent is now.
I do.
Wish you all the best of luck. Thank you very much for joining
No,
us.
Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure.
And enjoy as well, eh? I hope.
I look forward to what will hopefully be a very entertaining final game.
VRA versus Sparta. That's going to be the final for the T20 competition in the Netherlands. Good luck, Ben. Thank you. We will have national coach Ryan Campbell joining us for the full final, as Ben Cooper is going to remove his flip-flops for his spikes on this VCC wicket, who made a tremendous fight of this semi-final, but just run short. 88 for 9 is what